Hey guys, I'm here to talk about my really cool and inexpensive breast pump today. When my first was born, I was teaching full-time and I got the Medela Double Electric, which I think a lot of people kind of consider like the gold standard in pumps. I, in the end, chose not to go back to work outside of the house anyway, but I did need to use the pump for some substitute teaching days and to build a supply and times that I was on medication and I needed to get rid of my milk or whatnot. And I personally totally hated that pump. I felt like air was blowing into my nipples. I couldn't produce for it. I felt like it was like a cow hooked up to a machine. It was really cumbersome with like plugging it in, all the parts to wash, the tubing, like milk would get backed up in the tubes. Like it was, for me, just, some people love it, but for me it was just like this whole big deal. So I sold it before I was done nursing my son, knowing that I wouldn't want it for my future babies, and I just wanted to sell it before it was like, you know, outdated. So at the time I got this Lansinoh manual breast pump on Amazon. It's about $35, and then I only needed to use it really rarely for like medication getting rid of, you know, whatever, because I was already, you know, a year and a half into breastfeeding almost at that point. But this time I've been using this right off the bat with my second baby, and I just absolutely love this thing. I'm not working out of the house, so I only needed it to build up a small backup stash just in case I need to be on medicine for anything, and or you know, anything weird happens, and also just to relieve engorgement. It's been awesome. You can just have it right by your bed, and it's just super easy and super quick to use versus like plugging everything in and all this crazy stuff. So it comes like this. It has comes with two plastic bottles. I actually don't pump into the bottles. I pump into the even flow glass bottles I got on Amazon. They're about $12 for 3. It's a great deal, and it comes, you know, with the nipple. So I pump into these instead. It screws on perfectly onto this pump. So, that was really loud into the sink. Sorry. Anyway, so they come with, it also comes with two of these little caps, and these purple parts pop out, so I'm seriously throwing everything. Those pop out so you could put a nipple in, but it doesn't come with nipples, but I'm sure most standard nipples would fit. And another thing I really like is it has this cool cover here, so when it's all like sterilized and clean, then it keeps it clean, so it works like that. But it also works, it fits here as like a base if you wanted to set it up like that too. I never use it like that, but anyway, so it has that. And then it has this shield that goes over, which another thing, this is really comfortable to pump with this soft shield versus the Medela for me was really uncomfortable, but anyway, has this nice shield. I'm just showing you all the parts so you don't have to see, you know, you can see like how many things you have to wash. And then this comes out, oh, well, and obviously when you're pumping, you just, you know, goes like so. When I pumping, I start out kind of like a little bit not so, you know, kind of more shallow and a little quicker like a baby would. And then once, you know, my milk lets down, then I try to do like bigger, slower pumps like a baby would. But also I think that's why I get more milk from this, because your hand is not perfectly timed. So it's more like a natural sucking rhythm. It's like close to a rhythm, but it's not like precise like a machine's like choot, 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 choot. Anyway, so that part comes off, so you can wash that. And then you have the bottle, obviously. And then it has a little, you know, the little valve there. And then this part comes off at the top with this white piece that comes out. And then this is one piece. So I just threw everything into a bowl. So if you're sanitizing it, that's what you have for your whole pump. So it's just really not that many pieces. And I don't, when I sanitize it, I don't sanitize the handle very often, or the this outside part that often either. So I just wash those in soapy water. So it's just not, it's not that much stuff to wash, which is just, it's so, for me, it's just so much nicer. It's so much quicker and easier. I just wash with soapy water, and then I throw it in a pot of boiling water for about 5 minutes, and then just drain it and let it air dry, and then put it back together. So I really like the pump. What I do to store my milk, my sister gave me this tip, and it was really helpful. Instead of buying those plastic bags that you just throw away to store milk in, plus they have chemicals in them, you can buy these little 4-ounce mason jars, and I used these to make baby food food puree for my first, and so they're really good for that, and we still use them all the time for like snacks on the go and everything. I really like these little jars. And then if you buy these lids, these are BPA free lids. You don't want to use the metal lids that they come with because the lining has BPA in them. So anyway, you can buy these. I got these at Fred Meyer, but you can buy them on Amazon. It's the Ball brand. And then any 4-ounce mason jar the lid will fit onto. So it takes about 3 ounces. This is a 4-ounce mason jar, but I only fill it up with about 3 ounces, which is just about to the line, so it has some room to expand in the freezer. And then obviously put the lid on. And then I use a little piece of blue painter's tape because that peels off really easily later. It doesn't leave like a sticky residue to write the date on. And then freeze it that way. So that works really well because you can use these for other things later, and it's a lot safer to use glass than plastic. And then just a couple pumping tips. If there's anyone else like me, I was really like nervous about pumping up my supply stash when she was born because I had such bad experiences with my last pump, and I was just like in my head, I was like, I don't produce for pumps. I hate pumping. It's so annoying to wash everything. So I just didn't have that this time, and I think a lot of it has to do with that pump. It's a lot easier for me. For me, it's more natural to have it on one side. But a few just tips for anyone else who maybe struggles for a pump or thinks they do. Your supply is highest in the morning for most people. So that's a good time to pump for a stash, like early in the morning when you have more milk. And I never watch, because if you watch, then you're thinking like, why isn't it coming out yet? And you just get all anxious about it. So I never look, and it just, then I'll like, obviously I have to look at some point to see how much milk I have, but after a few minutes I look down, I'm like, oh wow, I already have, like this much milk. And they're like, oh, I'll just do a little longer. So I think just sitting there watching, waiting for it to come out, just, makes your body like all shy and doesn't want to go. And then staying close to your baby helps your milk come out, but if if you're working away from the baby, then maybe looking at a picture would help. I try to make sure I'm in an upright position or slightly forward so the milk doesn't, kind of like pile up in there. So it's easier if it's at an angle where it can, drip down into the bottle. And like I said, like starting slower at first and then going faster. I think those are just, a few basic tips. I can't think of any other big ones that I wanted to mention, but this video is getting long and I don't like watching long videos, so I try to keep it short when I can. So anyway, those are just some ideas for anyone who is pumping. So thanks for watching. All right, bye.